Yo, what up, guys? Today we're going to be doing the mid-season patch rundown, and I got a special guest with me. AJ, introduce yourself.
Hey guys, so I'm an MLA coach and I'm a mid laner just like Tim here, and I've been playing mid for around 13 years. Challenger season 12, season 13, season 14, and yeah, I'm here to break down the new patch with Tim here. I've got some experience with Yone and Ari and some other mid laners, so I'm happy to offer some insight on this absolutely massive patch for the mid season.
It is indeed really massive. You play on NA, right?
Yep, and I play on NA. That's
Awesome.
right.
So we're combining NA and EU West forces right here to make the best possible patch rundown. So this video is going to be a little bit preview because, as AJ already said, he's also an MLA coach. We do coaching for the coaching platform of the Mid Lane Academy and the Mid Lane Academy Plus for the higher elo clients. If you guys have any questions about that, feel free to let me know in the comments as well. We're going to jump straight into the notes. So we got a nice little picture presentation right here. We see some crazy changes to Corki, Skarner, and Xante buffs. Always amazing. First real change right here is some experience changes. So what do you think about this, AJ?
Yeah, so this is interesting because I'm assuming what their goal is that they don't want to like bot and jungle to come out into mid game, and then all of a sudden the top and mid are up like 2 levels. So I'm guessing what they're trying to do is try to bridge that gap a little bit, is what it seems like.
Yep.
Um, from what I'm reading, so I'll definitely shake things up. Like I think we need to be careful as mid laners, especially assassin players, of getting caught off guard of how tanky like an ADC is going to be. That's like the first thing that strikes out to me is like ADC that's up an additional 2 levels than they should be with an enchanter that they're going to be beefy
It's
for
going
an
to be
assassin.
annoying.
Yeah,
Exactly. It looks like they're mainly trying to buff that up in the early game, and then
yeah,
they try to flatten it out a little bit more in the mid game.
right. Because I think their main concern is that what happens is that they get all the XP from fighting like from the mid game, and it's like too weighted on the mid game. So they want to give you a little bit more agency, maybe early
Yeah,
game, maybe the ADC hits level 6 at a reasonable time for Dragon, for example.
but that can be a very interesting change. You're
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
we'll have to feel it
overall,
out.
early game is going to be a little bit stronger for jungle and a little bit stronger for AD carries
Uh,
and supports.
yeah.
So a slight nerf to mid, unfortunately. It is what it is. Let's take a look at the gold here. So this is, I think, bounty gold.
Yep, that's right.
Bounty gold. So bounty gold goes down a little bit at the early parts of the bounty. I think that's a very fair change.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
yeah, and CS bounty as well. So if you're CSing well, it's a lot harder to get a bounty from what it seems like.
Interesting. One death streak gold. So that also means that you also give less gold if you
If you
feed.
keep dying, right?
Right.
Interesting.
Okay,
So
so
they're trying to make the game a lot less. Um, how do I say?
snowballing?
I guess yeah, like snowball and flip floppy. It's like
Right.
because what happens is like somebody could be 0-3 and then all of a sudden be on a 3 kill streak and they're on a bounty, right? I think they want to prevent those edge cases now with these types of changes.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I like that. I think it's a good change. I think it's a very good change. And it still has very high highs, as you can see.
Yeah,
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it takes
right.
also an extra step, one extra kill to get to that maximum 1k gold bounty.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Overall, pretty good changes. I don't mind this. This is a little bit. We'll have to see how this one lands.
Yeah.
I think it's okay
Okay.
changes. Corki, have you seen anything from Corki, AJ?
The main thing was I listened to Freak on what he said about their
Mm-hmm.
design space for Corki, how they want to make him like similar to a Samira in the sense that you want to be really aggressive up in their face type of champion is what I've noticed, and they want to get him out of the like pro play only type of champion. So yeah, I seen they removed the package and they made a lot of his spells a lot more rewarding if you land them and rewarded for getting up in their face. So look, I think they're trying to shift him a little bit into bot, but potentially, I think he could be a pretty strong lane bully mid. But we'll just have to see how well he scales like past the early lane phase. Is the main thing I'm kind of on the lookout for Corki.
Yeah, spot on. Like he gets a lot of base stats right here: base armor, base health,
Yeah,
base attack goes a little bit down. I've
yeah,
actually played this Corki a little bit myself on TR99. I've done
yeah,
some 1v1s, and his early game definitely feels quite strong. I took Hill of Blades, very strong early lane setup.
mm,
So I think he's going to be able to best you in the mid lane as well. But
yeah,
I think you're spot on, right? We don't exactly know how this new R change is going to affect his damage output.
yeah.
And I think this is
Um,
really what's going to make or break the champ.
and I will say that also he's not an AP champion anymore, so
No,
everyone watch out for that. So don't buy your Sorks on your Corki anymore.
spot
Look out!
on.
You can maybe even potentially go lethality if you want. So there's that. Keep that in mind
Yeah, I
for
think
those maybe who
lethality
want
or
to play
crit
Corki.
is going to be the way here.
Yeah,
Cool change. Let's see how this change settles. Keep in mind how that Corki's changed, and don't get caught off guard if you lane against him. Stronger laning
yeah.
now. Okay, some changes to Cho'Gath, mainly jungle changes. This is kind of whatever.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna change too much. Maybe the perception of Cho'Gath, maybe more people will get to try him now. People will feel more excited to try him. I don't think this will really change too much in terms of the meta or if he'll become like an S tier pick. I don't think that will happen. But yeah, it'd be cool to see a little bit of Cho Jungle here and there. He's definitely similar to Nunu in terms of the neutral objective control.
Yep.
So we'll see how that kind of plays out.
Yeah, I think it's really whatever. Like his clear speed is
Yeah,
quicker. His minion wave clear is quicker in the mid to late as well. But honestly,
yeah,
does this change the champion Cho'Gath? I
not
don't think
really.
so. I don't think so. Cho'Gath has different issues with mainly his kill shots being incredibly easy to dodge.
That's fair.
Okay, our favorite champion over here,
Oh
Cassante.
boy.
What do you think of this, AJ?
I mean, I'm so conflicted on Cassante because on the one hand, I understand why they buff him because for most players it feels bad. But the other hand, at elite play, he's already really frustrating to play against right now. So I don't know. I'm not too excited personally to see Cassante buffs. Look, maybe these specific changes won't buff him that much, and it'll just make it easier to play for people who are less experienced on the champion. I don't know, but I know currently, I mean, an MSI is running a complete train wreck over
Yeah,
the entire tournament. So I'm worried, right? Whenever I see this champion buffs, I'm always a bit nervous.
that makes sense. I'm gonna be really honest. Since this champ got released, I've never liked the champ. I fucking
Yeah,
hate this champion.
yeah. I mean, me too, to be honest.
It is what it is. Well, I think it's good that they buff E because
Yeah,
they look at the base shield right here, right? Cassante, as far as I know, maxes QWE, so it's a bit of a late game buff right here. It's pretty whatever, and the health regen and health growth is actually pretty big. It's actually
yeah.
really nice for his
Because he
laning.
typically rushes armor MR, so all that extra health just multiplies his durability a lot. So don't be fooled by 5 health or a little bit of base health regen. That's actually a lot of defensive durability on him.
This at level 6 is even like with the health growth, right? It probably counts in as a full auto attack.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
Cassante, don't be too afraid of him in solo queue unless you're very high elo, because he's still incredibly hard to play. But yeah, we'll have to see how this is gonna impact pro play mainly.
Yeah,
So some jungle set buffs, extra damage to monsters, completely whatever. This champ does
yeah.
not gank well at
I,
all.
I will say, like, look, even if Sett doesn't become a good jungler, I do like the idea that Riot's kind of pushing, where like multiple like more champions can play in more roles. Like even sure, maybe Sett jungle isn't great, but perhaps this change makes them at least playable, exciting for some people. So I do like that direction, having champions have the flexibility to go in multiple roles. I think
What
that's
what
very cool.
what did you think about the rel change that we saw last year?
Hmm. Uh, yeah, so that one's interesting because I think they went too much in the
Right.
jungle direction. Like she was too strong in the jungle.
Yeah.
I think it should be a nice like niche pick. Like maybe if it's a perfect rel game, you really need front line and engage. You don't have any of that anywhere. Then maybe you could slam a rel jungle, right? That would be
Right.
cool. But I think what they did is they overdid it. She was just too strong. And so I think I like the direction of going slow with the jungle changes on a champion and then slowly improving it over time if they're not satisfied with the power
Yeah.
of that champion in the jungle.
Agreed. Good point. Okay. So we got a whole lot of Skarner changes.
Yeah.
And Skarner has been a little bit of a problematic champion as well.
Yeah.
How
I agree.
have you been experiencing Skarner?
When I get caught off guard, it's not even his gank there, it's actually how much base damage he has.
It's
I actually get
insane.
caught off guard. Like what happens is I'll be like 70% health, he'll be the last guy alive in a team fight, and he comes in with a W and just absolutely destroys me with the W slow plus the Q, and I just
Yep.
get absolutely destroyed. So I'm hoping these changes kind of tone down his base damage because I think that's the most problematic thing. I like the idea, the fantasy he has is a strong ganker, similar to Nunu, but maybe with a lot less threat by himself. He kind of needs other people to
Yeah.
help him out.
Yeah, I agree. I think Skarner has been a little bit of a problematic champion as well. I think the
Yeah.
way that his E plus R combination sometimes
Mm,
interacts can be
mm.
extremely annoying to play against. And yeah, he does a surprising amount of damage. And it seems like they remove a little bit of bonus HP damage right here, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a little bit of damage goes down, but of course it's not too much. We're only talking 1% here.
Yeah, because like if he, let's say he gets 1,000 bonus health, that's only what, like 10 damage shaved off from
Yeah,
5 to 4%. So it's like it's not gonna make the biggest deal, but we'll add up, but over time, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's good changes. Like they remove a little bit of damage, especially max HP damage. So we're going into the right direction. I think this is also pretty fair because his ult is pretty easy to flash, and making
Yeah.
the cast time a little bit shorter is going to make it a little bit easier for him to play. So we're basically trading damage for quality of life, and I take that any time.
I will say there is actually some more counterplay to his R now, because if you notice that line, it's no longer unstoppable winding up. I'm pretty sure that means you can CC him out of the R,
Wait, possibly.
right? Or like
I
lead kick him away. Or my guess when I'm reading that, because there's a channel time at cast time, is that you can cancel it. But I'm not. Look, I'm not 100% sure on that. But definitely looks like you at least CC him while he's casting his R now.
good line. We need to keep this in mind here.
Yeah. So we'll be on the lookout for that.
Exactly. Small trainer changes. This is fantastic for him, right?
Yeah.
This
Basically
is great.
compensate for the crit item changes, I believe, because the crit items give
No,
more
they're
crit, no?
buffing.
Or something.
Yeah, so this is a complete buff because what's happening
Mm.
is he only got
Ah,
40%
right.
max.
Yeah.
Now he gets 50, so only needs
So you only
two
need
crit
2
items.
items. Wow.
Fantastic.
So it's like Yasuo and Yone now. Very interesting.
Yeah, somewhat.
But he has to just build up the fury ahead of time.
Yep. So
Wow.
I think this is great for situations where Tryndamere was good, but
Yeah.
Tryndamere is still going to suck in situations where he
You do
wasn't
have
good.
to keep in mind lethal tempo is removed, right? So that offsets Tryndamere a
Mm,
lot. Like he has to go fleet or phase rush now, basically, or I guess conquer.
right.
Um. So yeah, just keep that in mind that he does get. I will say Tryndamere does get nerfed quite hard with that lethal tempo.
Okay, that's fair. So in that case, the change is pretty welcome for him, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, I fully agree. I think it's fine. Tryndamere is a champ that has clear counterplay if you draft
Yeah.
the right champions and if you keep your distance from him. Also very important. We got some small lane Viego buffs. I actually think this is quite big.
Oh wow. Yeah. I mean, when Viego first came out, I actually played him a lot. I loved the lane Viego, so I'm actually really excited for this change. I didn't even realize this was in the patch.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
very excited to try out some Viego with some of the crit items and that healing buff. That's a massive deal.
it's
The
insane.
the Q mark healing.
Yeah,
Be on the lookout for that. It seems like he can be viable in mid again.
I think he's probably going to be able to be played for sure. He
Yeah.
wasn't too bad in general before. Like he was
Yeah, I
playable.
agree.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
sustain in his kit.
Especially with D-Shield second win, so that
Yep.
plus the healing, I can really see him actually being a threat in solo lanes now, even
Yeah.
top as well, potentially,
Very hard
not just
to
mid.
kill.
Yeah,
Especially with his interaction with how he uses his E in the lane. Makes him also hard to punish him on every CS. And
I
he has a
agree.
very short cooldown Q. So it's going to be a great
I
laner
agree.
with this.
Yeah, very exciting change. I'm very excited for that.
So now we're getting to your area of expertise here, AJ.
Yeah. Yep,
Yasuo
Yasuo
Yone.
Yone. Yeah, so basically, just to kind of, I guess, generalize, is that most people feel very frustrated to play against these champions because of the idea that they get up on your face and it feels very hard to counterplay them. Like they miss, like Yone misses his Q, misses his W, misses his R, and he's still on top of you and he kills you, right? Same with Yasuo, same thing. So I think really the direction Riot is trying to head towards with these champions is, look, they want to reduce kind of some of their base power with Lethal Tempo getting nerfed, their crit multiplier, which means when you're on components before you complete your crit item, you have a slightly less crit. So those two changes are going to try to help them feel a lot less frustrating to play against when they miss their spells, but more rewarding when you land your spells. So these changes are really designed, again, because the crit items are getting buffed in terms of the base crit. So these changes are meant to give you that perfect 100% again, because right now the multiplier is a bit higher because the crit items are only 20%. So they're dialing that down to keep your crit at a consistent 100% 2 items. At the same time, nerfing when you're only at one component as well, with lethal
So
tempo and just crit cloak.
if you would take it overall, right? I
Yeah.
personally think, because I've played both of the champs in the past as well, right? I think this
Yep.
is balance wise. I think they're making a fantastic change here.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
I will
amazing.
say in terms of like the amount of levers they can kind of push and pull with these champions and how much stuff they can get, it's a
Yep,
lot more because they don't have to worry about getting an 80% attack speed multiplier at level
exactly.
4 going in. Um, so yeah, I'm very excited for these. Look, I'm optimistic about the changes. I know a lot of players in our coaching Discord,
Yeah,
they're a bit apprehensive and anxious about the future
extremely
of these champions because I mean, again, lethal Summa being nerfed is or being removed even is a
big
huge
change.
change. But I played Yone before lethal Tempo was even a rune on him when you call go conquer, and he was fine. Right, I still got the high elo with him, so he's still playable even right now. Like even before they tune anything, we'll have to see what the items are like later down the line. There's probably some busted items on them. But yeah, expect to see a guide from me on the item changes for Yone specifically and maybe Yasuo, especially within the Discord coaching server. So yeah, look out for that, and we'll break it down.
I think very exciting stuff for both Yasuo and young
Yeah,
players, because this
agreed.
makes their champs so much easier to balance in lower elo as well.
Yeah,
So this champions will be easier to play in high elo as well. So
I agree.
great changes. Okay, no Seapod anymore. Honestly, it's a pretty sad day. I love this
Yeah,
item.
yeah,
It's really
I
sad.
agree.
But
It was like the bread and butter for a few years, that item, and
yep,
then this split, we didn't really see much of it at all. Even I don't think I saw a single person build
no.
this item. So yeah, to be honest, pretty sad change, but I can see why they did it, especially I think because they have some rune changes that involve potions
Yep,
later down the line. So I think it's kind of a necessary evil. They got to get rid of it. It's unfortunate, but it is
is
what it
what it
is.
is.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so we got a few new items right here, and we got a few Enchanter items. We're just going to be covering these um, rather quickly, these Enchanter ones.
Yeah.
So main one I want to start with is the Shirelia's Battle
Yeah.
Song.
Yep.
Fucking fantastic nerf.
Yeah, I agree. I think it had a really toxic playstyle because you would
Yeah,
play champs like Galio and TF, and you would
disgusting.
lean like 100% into the facilitator style with those. You don't even care about dealing damage. All you care about is being that pure facilitator, which
Yep,
like it was cool, I guess, for the novelty that you could do that for a bit, but it's gone on way too long. I think those champions should have, you know, a little bit of power in terms of damage in their kit, not just pure utility, run at you, get a CC and get a pick and win the game off of that type of thing.
exactly. Like especially on like even people build it on Vagar and
Yeah,
Annie and
Vagar as
stuff
well.
like that. And
Yeah.
when you see that happening, like especially on champs like TF, my perma ban has been TF because of
Mm,
this item. So what's been happening is
mm,
you just beat TF in lane, he just goes down 20 CS, he
yeah.
doesn't care. You just ult bot one because bot lane doesn't respect your pings. Gets two
Right.
kills onto enemy fat Jinx, and then you have the TF stun card plus Jinx resets. That's fat. How do you win the game? Like
Yeah, and
it's
he's running at 500 move speed, so you can never pick him. He can go
exactly
drop it to the side. Team fights are very hard, so yeah, I love this change. It's really nice nerf.
really good change. So a little bit more damage to Echoes of Helia. That's basically it. A little bit more
Well,
damage.
what it looks like is actually less damage, but less stacks now, right? Because you do 60 per stack, but your cap is only at 2.
Wait, that's right. Yeah, so there's less
So,
stacks.
so what it looks like is that's way easier to proc. More champions will be able to proc it, but the top end is a lot lower. Like you don't get that huge burst of healing or damage now, but you get more consistent flow on more champions. Is what it looks like to me.
And the healing is actually up almost double. So it's
Yeah.
more healing and easier stacks. So it's mainly
So
a
I
heal
I can see
item.
more champions building it now. Like if you want to play like, I mean, look, I don't know much about who built this item in the past, but I can see maybe like a champion like Tarek, even if you want that heal. Or obviously there's a great Nami item as
Yeah,
well.
Nami.
Um,
Exactly.
yeah, so we'll have to see.
Okay, this one. I have no clue. I've never really seen this item before. Maybe
I
I
haven't
haven't
seen it in
looked.
a while. Yeah,
So what does this do? New
I
heal.
believe this one is the one that gives you a lot of AP to make your shield stronger. Like this is meant to be like if you want really strong um kind of shields, like to round out your build because you have a lot of shield and heal power for your other items. You build this and you get a ton of AP. Is
Mm,
what it used to be like, I believe. Um, something around like no one really built it, right? It wasn't like that a great item at all. So it seems like
what
what
is
they're doing is
HS?
um, I think that's heal strength. I believe.
Oh, right. Heal strength and 5 AP per 2% heal strength per 100%. Oh, whoa.
I believe that's what it is. Yeah.
So more AP. So
Yeah.
way more AP.
Yeah, that's so I think this is meant to be like this is like your karma item is what it feels like to me.
Hmm.
Or like your yeah, like karma for sure. Or like any of those enchanters that can both deal damage and kind of enchants a bit.
Right. So
It seems
less
like that's that type of item.
haste and less summon spell haste. But it is definitely a support item because
Yeah.
it procs on base mana regen and only supports by that stuff.
Right. Well, I could actually see it if you go like Imperial Dawncore Seraphine. I could see that as well. Right? I can actually really see Seraphine mid with that. Like you just rush around, you rush Imperial Mandate, you get all that base mana regen, then you rush this item, you get a fuck ton of AP, a ton of healing strength for your W.
Right. Yeah,
So
let's
look out for that.
hope it doesn't get too strong because I
Yeah.
don't like the Seraphines on mid.
Right. Right.
Okay. So small tank item, like not that as small, but a few tank item changes.
Hmm.
Anathema is removed. I think Free gave a rundown about how this item is actually not as effective as just buying general resistances versus a specific
Right.
champion that you're playing against. That's why they're removing it.
Hmm.
Warmogs buffs. I think this is fantastic. What do you think of this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always like Warmogs is one of those OG items that's been in the game since basically the beginning. So I love that when this item is good. I mean, it hits the nostalgia, but I think it'll also just be a strong item as well, especially for like a champ that gets a lot of resists already, like Sejuani. I know Sejuani really loved rushing this item in the past
Yep.
because it just gives you so much health, and she has resistances from her passive.
Yeah.
So I mean, always having variety in your build pass is always exciting. So any items that are weak that are buffed, I'm always happy to see.
Exactly. And this is the cool thing about it, right? This item now gets a real niche because this is now
Yeah.
the heavy health item in the game. Otherwise,
Right.
you could buy like Heartsteel, would give you an insane amount of health and also gives you the damage proc besides it, which
Yeah.
almost did the same thing. And I'm not sure about the specific gold value of Heartsteel,
Mm.
but yeah, this just makes it really unique. And I love that it gives more options to item builds.
Yeah, and just to comment again on this item before we move on, it actually gives you some nice counterplay against specific comps. Like if you're playing a tank and you get poke comps, you can really be that frontliner because you can
True.
kind of go in and create space that actually utilize the Warmox healing because we were really missing that. Um, in terms of the tank items, it's like the way tanks kind of nowadays play against poke is you just brute force it. You just tank with your resistances, right? So this kind of gives you the fantasies like I'm gonna go in, tank for my team, dip out, heal the full, and go back in. Like really that juggernauty type of style fantasy. So yeah, I think this item can be really cool.
Yep. But they are slightly removing it, but it will still do that job, right?
Right.
It will
Yeah.
still literally do that job.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Fimbulwinter. Slight health buffs. And so they're just adding more health in general, huh?
Yeah.
And instead of
And his
max
bonus trigger.
mana, making it bonus
Mm.
mana. So it's better
So
for mana stackers and less good for champs that just buy
do,
it on one item.
do you ever think, since we're mid laners, right? My mid lane brain is kind of kicking in. Do you ever think this could be a rise item? You combine this with like Riftmaker and Archangels, and you get a bunch of bonus HP, right, from your bonus mana, and then you convert that bonus HP into AP from Riftmaker. I could potentially see that being a build.
So you go Roa, Fimbulwinter.
Yeah, into like Riftmaker or something.
Yeah, that's probably a thing.
I could see that, and that sounds actually quite strong. You get the tankiness and durability from this item. It's like so much stats extra now. 15% bonus mana. Rise gets so much mana already.
Rice gets like 4k mana.
Yeah, yeah.
So how much else? That's so
That's like
he gets
600.
like 300. He gets like 3k bonus.
Yeah,
So that's like 450. Let's take 400 extra health. So
yeah,
and he also procs the passive with his W.
yeah.
That
Exactly.
he gets shields. Yeah, this is probably going to be cracked item on
Yeah, I
Rise.
can see that on Rise. So look out for that as well. It could be a great item for Rise.
Wow, we get some big changes here.
Yeah.
So Bami Cinder, small change, less health,
Yeah.
less expensive, 5 haste. Thoughts? Kind of whatever, no?
I mean, just whatever. I don't think it's gonna change the way you play at all.
Yeah.
I guess it makes some of maybe the jungle clear path a little bit less. Like if you're playing Rammus, Rammus kind of struggles with the early game clear. So getting this item, I mean, 100 gold cheaper.
Oh,
That's
that's
one camp.
massive.
Yeah. So look, for some of the things that are really struggling to clear, I actually do like it. So look, not the biggest change, but some niche scenarios where this could actually come in handy.
Mainly jungles, actually.
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
also
Mainly
love the
jungle.
haste
Exactly.
compared to the help. Okay. Hollow Radiance, less health, 10 haste. Well, that's the nerf. That's a big nerf.
Yeah. I agree.
I think it's fine. I think item was really good at his job.
Yeah, I agree.
Incredible.
I will say, I think it's a nerf for a champ like Kasante who doesn't love the haste, but maybe for a champ like laning Zac, I played against a few mid lane Zacs where they rush this item against an AP champion. Zac really loves haste, so I could see this being like in some niche scenarios being like a net neutral or maybe even
Right.
positive for a champion like that. So I think this is for some champs a nerf, some champs a buff. Is my takeaway from this.
And I think what they're doing right is because they're giving more health in these actual health items, they're kind of reducing it in these other
Right.
items to make the
Yeah.
stat a little bit more valuable in a way.
That makes sense. Yeah, diversify the stats a bit.
Really cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so Randuins. This seems like a pretty big change. So a little bit less health, a little bit more armor, more cooldown, but also bigger slow. This is a very big slow, by the way. 70%. That's a lot, guys.
Yeah.
And I also think it's for like 2 seconds or something like that. It's like a mini stride breaker.
Yeah.
That's but massive. They do remove the frozen heart passive, where you take a flat amount of damage less. Well,
so obviously the first thing that comes to my mind is that now you can actually stack this with Frozen Heart if you want for a ton of, I guess, like if you're playing against, let's say you're playing against a Jinx and you're a champ that can kind of jump in. What you could do is buy Randuins and Frozen Heart, sit on her. You get the crit reduction from your Randuins.
Slower.
Then you get the slow, and then you get the attack speed slow from the Frozen Heart, and then you also get the flat
crit reduction.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck me, that's gonna be painful, dude.
Yeah.
They gotta balance some 80 items
The first thing
here.
I think of is Yasuo and Yone playing against that, to be honest with you. That's
that's even worse for them.
Yeah.
We're gonna see some Malphites terrorizing the Rift here with these items.
Oh, wow, yeah. Malphite, sure.
Okay, so they're removing Ingenious Hunter. We're gonna talk about that in the Rune section.
Yep.
So they're reducing the trigger rate from 7 to 5.
Yep.
Sure. Gives it a niche. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, I think the only reason why people were building this before was to abuse it with a Genius Hunter. So I think now it's nice that you can like just build this item on its own and not feel bad that you don't have the domination tree.
Yep. Spot on.
So yeah, I mean, cool change.
We'll see how it lands. Probably still good on some similar champs where you're just gonna be in the front line and gonna be drain tanking a bit.
Yep.
Okay, Abyssal Mask. This item has been the bane of my existence with on mid lane.
Yeah.
And it's getting even cheaper now. So let's see what they change. So it's become even cheaper, a little bit less MR. And they're making percentage MR change, more radius. And they're giving more MR. So
So instead of a flat amount, you get the percent negation. So it says it's unique with Void Staff and Crit Spoon, but so somebody else on your team builds this item and you build a Void Staff, those stack, right?
Yeah, they do.
So the only reason they have that line is so you can't build this and void by yourself.
It's
You
like a
got to pick one of it.
Kassadin.
Right. Yeah, because I was about to say Zero might like a change like this, but I don't know because you're not gonna be able to buy void or crypt boom anymore. But it's even cheaper now. Like I can honestly see why we just buy this on Azir or Kassadin and just sell it later because it's only 2,300 gold for
Yeah,
void
this is gonna
staff.
be Zek. So good for Zek too.
Oh, Zach as well. I'm seeing a lot of Zach buffs
Yeah,
here, to be honest with you.
Zek is on a roll here.
Yeah.
Good item, man. This item is still so good.
Yeah,
It's
I agree.
this. It's so crazy. This passive.
Yeah,
It's broken by concept if you think about it.
it is.
It really is because yeah, it's just so good for champs that need MR and deal magic damage. It's immense,
I
completely
agree.
immense. Okay, nice vow. So a few changes. We see a little more health regen, a little less armor, and flat damage redirection, which is cool. I think that makes it a little bit easier to use for lower elo players. And it also gets reduced by armor and MR right now.
Right.
So it's just a more balanced, easy
Yeah,
to
I think it's
use.
just easier to understand. I think
Yeah.
around in terms of power level, it's probably around the same as what
Yep.
it used to be. I know in pro play and in competitive, this was the new Frozen Heart kind of. People just rush this item because of how cheap it was,
Yeah.
and you put it on your carry and you're chilling. So I don't know how much it's gonna affect that, if at all. It probably won't change it, but we'll just have to. This is one of those things I'll have to wait and see if is that really gonna make it weaker, or is it gonna be around the same in terms of that style where you rush it?
Yeah, so it may even become stronger for like front to back comps because
Right,
this is nice that it actually gets affected by armor MR because tanks
right,
and strong bulky members are going to be buying this one.
right. Yeah,
And I think this was kind of cheesy, right? Because this is just really, I think it's a frustrating one. 20% below 30% max HP.
yeah,
Some people are not gonna be able to calculate that. Like, who is gonna be able to? I don't calculate that,
yeah.
and that's gonna
It's
miss out
because
on
all of a sudden
kills.
they're way tankier. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay,
So I think
makes sense.
it's a really fair change.
Yeah.
Zeke's Convergence, a little bit more health, a little less armor, more MR, less haste. What do you think of this item in general?
To be honest, when it first came out, the split, I saw a lot of people building it actually, and I was like, oh, I don't even know what this item does, but it felt like it was doing a lot, and then all of a sudden it tapered off. So to be honest, I haven't seen too much of this item recently. Um, but I think it could be good. Like it gives a way more well-rounded pool stats. Like that MR is huge. It does give less
Health too.
haste, which does suck a little bit, but yeah, if you want to play that supportive style where you do a little bit more damage when you go in, like get Alistar or a Rakan, and for some reason your team is lacking damage, like maybe you've got a more tanky comp, we've got like an Ivern, and you have an ADC that doesn't do a lot of bursts, or a mid who doesn't do a lot of bursts, this could be a nice supplementary item to actually deal a little bit of damage when you go in.
I think it's a pretty
So I can
massive
see a
buff.
niche. Yeah,
No one cares about the mana.
yeah,
The haste it's unfortunate. You lose 5 armor, 10 haste, you get 25 MR and 100 health.
yeah,
If you can
yeah,
take that any day.
yeah, I agree.
I think in general, right? Like I think support items are completely stupid.
Yeah, I agree because like now that I'm thinking about it, you could build this on non-support champions and get the value. Like I'm actually imagining playing Yone and buying this item now because it doesn't give mana and has less haste, which stats we didn't want, and it gives MR now, and it scales with your ults. So you go in with your ults and you get the aura, and you get all those tanky sets.
Does it work like that?
Yeah,
Don't you have to put it on someone?
you have to put on some, but once you cast your, I believe it's once you cast your ults, right? I think you get this, you get the buff
Maybe
when they're
their
close
ult, or
by.
maybe you need to be
I
close
don't
to
remember
someone.
exactly what it is,
But
but
it
it's
looks
something
like a
along there.
Sedge item once again.
Right, right.
Or something like that. But like the amount of stats that these supports gain,
Yeah,
I don't like it that much because you're going to be having Nautilus running around that's legit unkillable for
yeah,
a mid laner that you're playing. And I think
right.
that's problematic because
Okay, yeah.
they need to be warding and stuff like that. They're not punished for bad positioning.
So yeah, I just looked it up. Yeah, they changed it. The split. You don't have to talk. You don't have to mark an ally anymore. It's just whenever you cast your R, you just get a swirl of damage around you when you cast your R with this item. So
That's
you can
good.
build this on like a Laui or a Yone or a Yasuo if you want. You just press your ults and you get the damage and you get the slow.
You summon storm 5 seconds and slowing them. Wow, that's
Yeah, so you can build this on soul laner. I could literally
wow.
see solo lane top laners building this. Like against Zac, like literally it could be a Zac item.
Yeah.
Um, again, I can see on Yasuo or Yone. I keep thinking about those because they love tank items. They deal
They love
damage
this
as well.
and cheap.
Yeah. Like there's no more the haste is reduced, which is sad they didn't care about. Mana is reduced, sad they didn't care about. This seems like a crazy item,
Yeah.
actually now. For not even just supports, just for anyone.
What are we looking at?
Yeah.
All right, keep an eye out on this item
Yeah,
as
keep an eye out
well.
for that.
Holy.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, we're gonna finally move into the real stuff here, which is mage
Yeah.
items. This is gonna be much more fun. So
Agreed.
Banshees, it seems like they're
It's a very small change.
yeah, so the total cost is unchanged. They're just reducing Verdant Barrier by 100 gold because it was expensive as hell.
Yeah, super expensive. Yeah.
Good change.
Yeah, welcome change.
Very good. New item. There's
Yeah.
so many people, man. In the MLA,
Yeah.
this question has been asked to me 3 times per day.
Yeah. Me too.
This item is
this
going to
gonna
be
be good on?
broken. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
Mm. So, my problem with it is that I don't see what champion would like this that doesn't like a Malignance, right? Because I think you think look at this item, it's like, oh, this is such a good Swain item, right? Yeah, that's true, that's fair. But why not just build Malignance on Swain, right? It's very similar, but you also get the ultimate haste, or like what's another champion that would kind of benefit from this?
Got some brand action
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
Brand
brand
loves
as well.
this. Like this
But
is
because
incredible.
yeah, actually, I can see that brand. Actually, yeah, does look like a brand item. Because the only thing with the brand is you don't need the mana, right? So the mana is quite wasted on him.
Yeah, that's true. You don't necessarily need it. I think it's not going to be a first or second item. I think it's going to be Rylai's Liandry's, and then this is going to
Right.
be your third. Because
Right.
at that point in the game, you're kind of just A-ramming with your team most of the time anyway. And this
Right.
mana is actually getting some use of it as well.
Right.
So it's not too bad, really.
Mm.
And the
Yeah,
haste is incredible. It's cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It is cheap. I will say I'm a little bit more on the fence on this item compared to other people. I just don't see like there's not that many champions pop into my mind that would really love this item compared to Malignance. Like again, like with Swain, I'd rather just have Malignance. Ari, I'd
Cheaper.
rather have Malignance. It's cheaper. You
Gold
get the ult
haste.
haste, which is really strong. The damage is very similar on the Malignance compared to the item because it shreds their MR.
Looks balanced to me.
So yeah, it doesn't look overly like yeah, look, it does look good, but I don't think it's gonna be just like, oh, you have to build this on every champion type of thing.
No.
It's like maybe Victor will like it, right? Maybe like you said, Brand will like it. But again, you always have Leandris for the burn, and people don't, rush Leandris. But I mean, this does give mana as well, so
Yeah, I think
I'll
it's
just
an
have to
amazing.
play around with it and see how it is.
It's an amazing just addition for options.
Yeah, I agree. Like
balanced.
I said before, I always love having more options. Even just there's a random niche game where this item is randomly really good. That's just awesome on its own. So yeah, I love having more items in the game. I think this is great.
Agreed. Okay, next one. This is going to be the new haunting guys, as far as I know.
Right.
But instead of the or maybe it's not. Yeah. Haunting guys is actually still there.
Just on top of it.
This is just a new item completely.
Okay.
So 900 total. Whoa.
I think this is meant to be your jungle item. Like if you were a jungler who's an AP jungler, this kind of helps you with your jungle clear.
But what about this?
Yeah, and that as well.
This is actually this is incredible item. So you get 40 AP for 900 gold plus this nice little passive.
Right.
This is an item that rivals the Hextech Alternator. Maybe even is better
Yeah.
than the Hextech Alternator.
Yeah. Like, cause I can see like when you're playing a Azir, for example, and you can just rush this when you go to your
Ooh,
Liandry's, because you don't need mana and you
that's
get that burn.
fucked.
You get the wave clear for monsters, which I don't know if that works on creeps, but it's a little extra bonus if you randomly need that. But yeah, you get the burn and
Yeah.
you get 40 AP for 900 gold on Azir. That's pretty
This is
nice.
gonna be insane for mid lane champs as
Yeah,
well.
brand as well.
Wow. That's actually a really insane change.
Yeah.
This item is really good. It gives 40 AP. That's wild.
I mean, you just compare that to Fiendish Codex, right? Fiendish Codex gives you like 15 AP and 10 haste or something now
Yeah,
for the same amount of gold.
25 and 10 haste.
25
It's
and
not
10 haste.
comparable.
Yeah.
It's crazy that they make this change.
Yeah.
Okay, love it. Sure.
Yeah. Me
Why
too.
not? Looking forward to using this item. This is going to be incredible for a lot of these poke mages that want to apply it over and over and over again.
Yeah. And when it comes to reference points on these mages, keep this in mind, guys. Maybe you try to time your base with this item if your champ doesn't need mana or last chapter, right? If your champ likes to rush the Andres, you could potentially go and rush, time your base timing for this, and you've got a really strong spike at 900 gold. So be on the
Exactly.
lookout for that.
Fantastic. Okay, Ludens changes. So I'll take this one here, right? Because
Yep.
I've been investigating this one for a while now since I'm playing a little bit of LeBlanc again.
Mm-hmm.
So this now gets the old Ludens charge timer
Mm,
and always fires 6 shots. So it
right.
basically is a little bit more noob friendly. Again,
Mm.
it's easier to use now. And I think that's already a good start because you don't have to actively think about your Ludens hits. But even better is that it actually deals more damage. Much more damage. Like, this is a nuke item right now. So the base damage already goes up by 60, by 15, just for the initial shot.
Yeah.
So we're going to get 15% for... hold up. Does this mean that for every shot it gets increased by 15?
Yeah, I believe so. And then when you repeat it, it does 50% of that.
But you're going to be dealing so much more damage than before.
Yeah. So this seems
is
like
incredible.
an item where it's like you want to really lean into that burst mage playstyle. Like if you really want to lean into that, this seems like the perfect item for that. Yeah, that's your LeBlanc item right there.
LeBlanc item right there. Love it. It
So-
was already good.
So how it worked before, just to clarify, is that instead of having a 12-second CD like it does on this new updated one, each shot had its own CD, and based on how many you had when you threw your spell was how many comes out. Whereas now you probably get less overall shots, but you just get them each in one big burst at a time. So it's a way, yeah, like you said, it's way easier to use, and you're just rewarded more when you do proc it. So I love this change as well. This is
Really good.
fantastic.
Exactly. And what we're also seeing here, right, is that if it's a base damage of 60,
Yeah.
excluding the AP, then the rest of the 5 shots are going to be 30. Right? So we already starting off with a base damage of 210 without any AP.
Right. That's massive.
On a 12-second cooldown.
So much damage.
If you can time this around with your abilities, for example, LeBlanc W has about a... if you get this item, you're at max level. You're about 11 seconds cooldown without haste. You can just proc it on cooldown like that. Just W in, Q, extra 210 damage. What are we looking at? It's amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now we're excluding AP already, so pretty cool change. Liandry's, just different build path.
Yeah, it just has the ashes now, basically, and that's basically it.
Makes it even better, in my opinion.
Yep, agreed.
Amazing.
Nice.
Very good. We talked about this one. 100 gold less.
Yep.
Amazing change as well.
Agreed.
We're going to go to fighter items. So, as a TLDR fighter items, they generally nerfed the fighter items a bit. That's what I heard. So we're going to be just covering them. See what changed. Oh wait, is that so? Oh, they already did that. I'm capping.
I believe they did that previous patch. Yeah, they did
Exactly.
nerf Eclipse and Sundered Sky a little bit. Yeah, like the problematic ones.
So this is actually a big buff to Cleaver.
Yeah.
This is a massive buff to Cleaver.
Yeah, I could see like Jace actually. If you go Eclipse Jace, You'd still go the Grudge anyway, but maybe now you could actually go Black Cleaver if you want, or like Zed with this item or something.
It's a lot of armor reduction.
30%, yeah.
The
Because
stats are
reduction,
good.
so it buffs your teammates as well.
That's true. That's definitely true. Like Surreal Dice is also an item that, like, who really buys Surreal Dice? It's only the actual assassins that buy that item.
Yeah. I agree.
The lethality stacker. So I think it gives a little bit more options, and I think this is probably most going to be your standard bruiser item. By the way,
Yeah, like you're Renekton and a Cassandra, your Renekton rushes this, and you're really happy about
you're
that.
really happy. Exactly.
Yeah.
They might probably right now, because of the Eclipse nerfs, this might just be a
good
first
rush.
item.
Yeah, I agree.
The only problem with Black Cleaver, what we will see right here, is that the buff buff is it's kind of bad. It's kind of really bad.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's really with all of these bruiser items. If you take, for example, Trinity Force right here, look at this. This Sheen it's kind of shit.
Yeah.
Phase is kind of shit. Hardbound X, like these bruisers are gonna be clear one item spikers here.
Yeah, I agree.
So you got to be very mindful of that. If you're a mid laner or AD carry, you see a bruiser with components, you're good. If you see a bruiser with Triforce, or you see a bruiser with Black Cleaver, you're gonna be screwed.
Yeah, I agree. Really,
Massive
so really
spikes.
paying attention to the specifics of their items, like not just how much gold they have, but if they've actually completed an item or they're sitting on components. Really big deal for these fighter items.
So we're gonna get a little bit more theoretical here, AJ. So with this item here, what we see currently a lot in top lane is that there's tier 2 boots rush.
Yep.
And do you think that this might change the meta of tier 2 boots rush?
I don't think so, because I think the reason why, like, so for example, right, like what he's talking about is like, let's say you're playing Gnar into Renekton. Most of the time, what they both laners do is they both base and buy tier 2 boots, because Gnar, if he bases and buy tier 2 boots, he gets a space to Renekton. So if Renekton doesn't buy tier 2 boots, he's fucked in that matchup. So I don't think that's going to change that dynamic, because your lane phase is just, like you said, because the components still suck.
Yeah.
Right? So the problem is that, yeah, if you hit Black Cleaver, you'll be chilling. But it sounds like for example, in that example, if you're playing Renekton and you try to rush Black Cleaver, you don't buy boots, Gnar bases buy tier 2 boots, you're going to have a really hard time laning in that lane until you have Black Cleaver.
Hold on. So tier 2 boots is probably going to still be
yeah, I still think it would be the meta. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, yeah, we're going to be covering the boots changes as well. First, Overlords Bloodmail. So what was this? Atmas Impaler or something like that in the past?
Yeah, very similar. This is basically your Scion and your, what's the other health stacking champion? Scion and Mundo. There we go. This is like the Scion and Mundo item.
Yeah,
like
I can see that.
You just get damage based off your health. That's basically it.
It's an expensive item though.
Very expensive.
Nice bit of AD. Interesting.
So it's interesting because that's like Rabadon's effect. It's increased, right? So is that increased on the item, or is that increased for your total AD? So like if I have
total AD.
Yeah, that's pretty nice actually. Then like if you have 200 AD, which is I think relatively easy with this item by itself, then you're playing Scion, you drop down to 30% health, you get extra 20 AD. That's 600 gold.
That's nice.
AD. And that's on, like, I'm being very conservative, right? That's only, you only have 200 AD. You probably get way higher numbers than that on like a Scion or Mundo, right? Mundo E gives you like 150 AD on its own. So
and already this with the health, right?
Yeah.
And especially with the new health items too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see some cool new strats. Keep a look on the Baus FFS stream, guys.
Yeah, the Titanic Overlords Bloodmail Heartsteel build.
Yep.
Something like that.
Okay, boots changes. Steel caps. Yeah, a little bit
like
cheaper.
This change.
You like it?
Yeah, I mean, from a Yone and a Azir perspective, I like this change.
This is fantastic. This
This
is really good. The basic attack reduction, this was the biggest problem of steel caps.
Yeah,
This is also why it's good versus champs like Mordekaiser, Gwen, because they actually have on it, and this also reduced their on.
Yep, Azir as well.
Azir, exactly.
Yeah, so I welcome this change. I'd much rather they have put more power in the base stats than the basic attack reduction. It's just too valuable. Like is so valuable. Like you just build it even against EP champions. It doesn't really seem that thematic. So I do like the direction they're going with
Yep,
that.
very good, and it's a little bit cheaper, so I think it's
Yeah.
fine. Good change. No more boots of mobility. We now got
Yeah.
what do we got? We got the Symbiotic Soles here.
Interesting.
So you get an empowered recall
Huh.
in general, and then
Wait, so empowered recall means it's 4 seconds instead of 8, correct?
yeah,
So there's that. But does that mean you automatically get the home guard? Like, let's say it's minute 8 and you recall and you have this. Do you get the home guard effects right away, or do you still need to wait until the 14-minute marker to get the home guard
you
effect?
still get you don't get the home guard instantly.
So you still need to wait until 14 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
1,500 units. I heard somewhere that's about 8 minutes of gameplay.
Hmm.
So after 8 minutes of gameplay, you get the old Mobies plus empowered recall.
Hmm. Interesting.
So this seems like a support item to me.
Yeah. Is there ever a world where you play a mid laner and you use the empowered recall for tempo?
Maybe Talon,
Like a Talon or a Singed or something, like some niche pick like that, where you just like push
Singed
the
maybe.
wave, lose your entire health bar, you just recall in 4 seconds, you just sprint back before the wave even re-
Yeah,
respawns. Maybe I can
it,
see that.
it's a
So
pure tempo
yeah, I think for
item.
you Talon and Singed mid players, try it and report back to us. Let us know how that feels.
Yep, I agree. This is a good option. Very unique. We just got to see how it is, especially how this early empowered recall is going to change stuff, right?
Yeah,
Because like the real power of the item is when you get the extra move speed. Like this is just very average. You're spending a lot of gold on an empowered recall.
yeah,
Okay, now we're getting to marksman items, and I think
yeah,
overall they did a pretty good job here.
yeah.
They did a fantastic
Um,
job.
so I can probably go over some of these because that's kind of my area of expertise. I
Okay.
play ADC and Yone and Yasuo. So basically, I guess what they're doing with BT, if we just skim over this, change the gold is around the same, but it gives way more AD. Um, and you get what's it called? Overheal again, correct? Yeah, you get the
Yep.
overheal. But then you lose the crits. So this reminds me of BT from way back in the day, like season 1, season 2 BT. I don't know if you played back then or if you remember that,
Season
but this
4.
is basically how the old BT worked, where it didn't have any crit, it just had raw amount of AD, and then you got a fuck ton of lifesteal. So
Right.
I could see this on like assassins that could auto attack. Like I could honestly see this as maybe a Jace item where
Hmm.
you just get a lot of lifesteal on your W and you get a fuck ton of AD. I can see this as like your finisher item on a Yone or a Yasuo when you've got your guaranteed your 100% crits. Um,
ATAD is
I-
wild, right?
yeah, a Tryndamere item. So I think this is a nice item to round out your build. I don't think you're ever gonna start with this item. Really, I don't see a world where you would start with this item.
Maybe it
Um,
is a starting item with the lifesteal and the shield
right.
thing helps with
Mm,
trading.
yeah, maybe actually. Interesting item.
It
I'm,
does make
I'm
it
I'm thinking about
unique,
who maybe like a Draven item. You could rush it on
probably.
Draven if you want, or something like that. Something that doesn't need too much attack speed potentially.
Yeah.
Like if you do some like kind of hail blades thing with BT, or you're a champion like Jace where you can just press your W. Like
Yep.
I actually kind of want to try this as the first item on Jace. It doesn't give haste, but you get so much healing. It's insane. You just go in with a trade, you press your W, you get
Yeah.
all that attack speed. We'll have to try it out.
Yeah, and it's very unique because what the idea with these AD carry items, right, with these marksman items, what they did is they try to minimize the stats per each item, but make the stats very
Yeah,
good. So
yeah.
instead
So
of
it's like
crit,
it's very
lifesteal,
specific.
exactly,
Yeah.
just
Right.
reduce it. And I want to quickly chime on this specific effect. The shield, as far as I know, it doesn't last too long. So you had
Mm,
previously you had the big shield from Bloodthirster, which lasted for like
yeah.
10 seconds or so like that. Right
Right.
now, it doesn't last that long anymore.
Mm, interesting.
And I think that they remove overheal, right?
Yeah, they did. They
Okay,
changed it for
so
different.
no nasty combinations anymore.
Yeah.
Very nice. Next one. Take it away, AJ.
Yeah. So we got collector here. So this one, the gold has been a little bit more expensive now. 100 more gold. Gives a little bit more AD, slightly less lethality. So I think overall this is probably a nerf. Usually when an item gets more expensive, as usually means it gets weaker unless they give it a lot of stats. But as you can tell, they didn't really give it anything. In fact, they actually removed one lethality on it, and you get 5 AD. I think it will be around the same, not that big of a difference. The champions who still like it will still build it. Obviously, your Jins, your Samiras, your Dravens, your I don't know what other like lethality ADCs, whichever of those. You'll still like it. You'll still build it. I don't think it's going to change too much, but I think this makes IM a little bit weaker, in my opinion, slightly weaker.
Probably. Because you mainly build it for the completion, so having a 100 gold
Yeah,
less for
exactly.
5 AD.
Yeah, like I think in hyper late game when you're talking about 6 items is probably better than the previous one. But yeah, usually when you build this item, it's like one of your first items, if not your first item. So having it be 100 gold more expensive is kind of a big deal in my opinion.
Agreed. Fully agreed. But overall, basically same stuff.
Yeah,
Basically.
agreed.
This one, on the other hand, is completely different.
Yeah.
Much more expensive. No longer a Sheen effect, guys. But
wow.
The mana return is back.
Yeah.
More crit chance, more haste, more damage.
Interesting.
So let's think about this, right? So it's no longer a Spellblade item. Is it going to be more like the it's actually
But
just
that's
mana.
like the Spellblade gives so much damage though. Like you don't get that much back. Look how it's more expensive by a lot too now. 300 more gold.
Yeah.
I don't see who would really love this item, to be honest with you. Like, even like the Lucian, I don't really see it.
No.
I don't really understand, to be honest, this item too much. I can't think of any champions that would want to use this item. Like the Spellblade gave you so much damage. Like you just lose that, and it costs 300 more gold now.
Oh yeah, this looks kind of whack, actually.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Because you're purely buying it for the mana on hit.
Yeah, and I can't think of like most of the time if you're having mana issues, you're probably mismanaging your mana on that champion.
Yep.
Like every Lucian player never has mana issues at high elo, right? So I don't see how this doesn't seem like a good Lucian item. Vayne, I saw Vayne's build up. That was because of the Sheen ability. Without that, she doesn't want it. Ezreal doesn't need mana. No, right? I don't see who would use this.
I think we got our first certified whack item right here.
Yeah, I agree. This is the first one I'm not really. Yeah, this is the first one I've seen where it's like, wow, I don't know. I'm not excited about this one.
Yeah, complete shit item.
Yeah.
Okay, next one.
Okay, Shieldbow. I mean, this one is a classic for me. The amount of years I played with Shieldbow. So let's take a look. So more crit, gold cost the same.
No lifesteal.
More AD, but the lifesteal's gone. Wow.
So it's purely shield item now, really.
Yeah. Wow. This is one I'm gonna have to play around with. My gut feeling is that it's gonna be better on ADCs than the melee guys. They really like the lifesteal because they're constantly stacking their Q before fight anyway, so they're utilizing the lifesteal all the time. So that is a lot of lifesteal to lose 12%. You get 5 AD and 5 crit back. And for Yasuo Yone, that's not even crit back because you lost it on your passive.
Yep.
Right? So it's just a net neutral for your crit. So you get 5 AD for 12% lifesteal. So this item I'm leaning towards is gonna be quite bad on those champions.
A little bit worse.
So do not build this, in my opinion.
You think there's better stuff out there now, huh?
Yeah, I think there's gonna be better options. Like if you want the lifesteal, build the BT, and the shields, build the BT. If you want burst reduction, just build a tank item. I don't really understand the niche that's for those champs. I think for the range crit ADCs, I don't think this is as bad of a change because their whole reason they built this is the lifesteal is nice, but they want it as an anti-burst shield anyway. Yep. And they're actually benefiting from the 5% crit buff because they didn't have the multiplier.
Exactly.
To begin with. So I think for the ranged ADCs is better.
Spot on. Yeah, spot on. IE, big changes.
Yep. So we've got here 100 gold more.
100 gold more.
What is that? 15 more AD?
Yep.
At 5% crit. Wow. What do you think about this one?
So I think it's good because this is like the Rabadons of AD items, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think making it more expensive, but also giving it more damage is overall a fair change. I think with the amount of AD that they give it, they could probably make it even more expensive, like maybe 3,500. It's just gonna be that once you hit this item, you're rolling.
Yeah.
You're dealing damage.
Do you ever think this item you could rush now?
On
Like
what?
on a Draven, for example?
Probably, yeah.
Like do you like it's 15 extra AD and 5% more crit for only 100 gold?
It's insane
That is
value.
so much more stats extra for only 100 gold.
Yeah. I
Like,
think we got ourselves a like I know some items that are coming after here, right? We got to really
right.
look at this item right here.
Right.
We're gonna. I think we can figure out a pretty decent Yasuo Yone
Yeah.
build already real soon.
Yeah.
This is probably gonna be the second item that you're building on these
Yeah.
champs.
I know for sure. That amount of like 1580. That's so you're getting 350 gold extra
Yeah.
on those champions for only spending 100 gold. That is massive.
Okay, so we're gonna jump the gun a little bit. Okay, AJ,
Okay. Yep.
think about this here. Look at
Yep.
this: 60% attack speed on
Wow.
Phantom Dancer.
Wow.
What about Conqueror Yone Phantom
Yeah.
Dancer Rush into IE?
That's literally the OG build, like way back in the day. That's your
Right.
OG build there with the PD Conqueror right in. Like I was already, if I'm being honest with you, I played the Yone so much that I actually tried this season, and it was already not bad. It's
Right.
not great. There's better options. It's not bad. So that's getting strictly buffed by a lot, like
Yeah.
a lot, because you're basically getting all the AD you lost back from the IE once you get the IE. But now you're just getting an extra 30% attack speed and 2% movement speed on your PD. That's massive.
And the move speed is like insane. And look at the gold.
Yeah. Wow, and the cheaper. Oh my god. Yeah, this item is gonna be great. Because one of Yasuo and Yone's biggest problems in the meta and high elo that you don't realize in low elo is that their items are so expensive. So what happens is that everyone spikes before you when you're trying to buy your Kraken and your blade. That you're just sitting there on components when people have their malignants already. So having PD be at 2600 gold is such a welcome change for these champions.
Exactly. Especially
Wow.
look at the zeal too, right?
Yeah, the zeal as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
The zeal is the component of this.
Yeah, though you do have to keep in mind they did compensate it because their crit multiplier is reduced, right?
That's right, but still a good buff because
Yeah,
5% is
agree.
more than what they changed with the changes from the crit. So it's still a slight buff.
Yeah, it is. It's 2% buff. You used to get 38% from a zeal.
Yeah.
Now you get 40. So yeah, that is a slight buff. So yeah, great.
So
Great
what
item.
we're going to be seeing here, right, is we're actually going to see that Yasuo and Yone, if they rush this item, they can actually start matching the Malignant's Aries and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think already, I know we haven't gotten the blade yet, so I'm jumping the gun with the blade. What I'm going to think of now is no more Kraken Rush. It's going to be blade if you want a slower spike and you want that lifesteal. But then if you want that raw crit burst damage, you're going to go straight into the PD IE.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll get
exciting
to the
stuff.
items
We're gonna break it down here. So next up, Kyochi Sart, gone, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Really whatever.
Doesn't really matter.
So does that mean?
Oh, I will say one small thing actually. I will say I will say one thing about the shard being removed is that so the way the shard worked is that like they removed it so distance doesn't charge it up, right? I believe. So ever since that, like this item has kind of fell off of favor, I believe. Like the Shiv and the shard, right?
So the way that you use this item, right, is you buy this on early on champs that go fleet.
Yeah.
So you time your fleet auto attack onto champions with this to get extra damage plus heal more. So it was actually really
so that's the only thing that you kind of lose from that. Yeah. So I do like that change. It makes the game healthier, I think.
Much more.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. So I'm welcome. I'm happy the item is gone.
Yep. Okay, Kraken changes.
All right. A lot of changes here.
No crit, more expensive, more move speed, more AD, more attack speed, and I think this is the same, no?
Wait. Every third basic attack.
A physical.
No, so it's an execute item now, right?
Okay.
Because if you read it there, that you're reading that, they changed that. So if you read that, every third basic attack deals additional physical damage on hit, increasing when hitting the same target repeatedly. That's what it is right now. And you see the arrow. Now it's every third attack deals extra on hit, increasing when the enemy is on lower. So this is like your execute item.
Okay.
So what's interesting is I'm not even looking at it from Yasuo Yone lens, but is there like a champion who doesn't care about crit but likes to execute? Like, do you think this could be an auction item?
Does this Action R? Does Action R apply on hits?
I don't remember. I think it does.
Let's take a look here.
Oh, it doesn't.
Does not, huh?
I don't think it does. So maybe not.
No, doesn't look like it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Interesting. I'm struggling to figure out who would rush this. I mean, again, of course, maybe we can try Yasuo Yone, but I don't see why you would build this over Blade, if I'm being honest with you. Or PD. Like, I don't really understand why you would do why. Because it doesn't give any crit anymore. Yeah, you get the movement speed, but again, PD already gives you movement speed. It's expensive. Increasing with the enemy's low health. Yasuo Yone don't really care about that. You already do so much damage. I don't think you really care too much about
This
that.
is a small Action nerf.
Oh yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah.
Because he
So who
loved
would want
this.
this? No. Yeah. Maybe this is like honestly, I guess this is like a Jinx item. Because Jinx really is one of those resets. Like as a third item on Jinx, maybe.
It gives no crit.
Just the fact, yeah, the fact it doesn't give crit makes this item really awkward. Or like a cog item. This is like for your on hit champs, like your Varus and your cogs. I think.
I think this item is not going to be built that much.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it. That's interesting. It's definitely unlike Essence Reaver. I am interested in this item, and on the paper, it doesn't look that good.
Yeah.
But I'll have to try it. I want to try it on a Varus. I want to see people try it on a Varus, on a Kog'Maw. I want to try it on a Yasuo and Yone, Tryndamere, Viego. And we'll see how it fares.
Yeah, we'll have to see indeed. It's tricky
Yeah.
because this is we don't know the exact stats here.
Yeah.
Huh?
That has to make up for the crit removal.
Exactly. Cool.
Okay.
All right. So this now we're getting into danger zone territory. I think we're getting into dangerous zones here.
I
this
agree.
armor penetration, like what the fuck? This is just a buff to this already insanely strong item.
Yeah. Not only that, Black Cleaver was buffed. So I'm imagining, like, think of it like this: you play Jinx, all your crit items got buffed. She's already a strong champion. You're higher level because of the XP changes, so you're not as weak early game. You make it to your LDR, IE, PD combo. You have a Renekton shred 30% armor, and then you have 40% armor pen. What the fuck are they gonna do? Put Steel Caps is nerfed.
Yeah, this is actually gonna be like immense for AD carries, no?
Yeah, IE got buffed. Like yeah.
AD carries are out of control.
Yeah, they're out of control. I agree.
It's probably looking to be a bot lane meta here, like clearly.
Yeah.
Like especially with the holy shit, what have they actually done? Especially with the changes to the
that's what I'm saying. You're not as weak early game now, so you can actually make it to your items.
Holy, that's crazy. That's really insane.
Like Jinx is already strong in the meta right now. I just see like 5 buffs in a row for Jinx, to be honest with you.
But there's no lethal tempo anymore.
Oh, right.
So they're making up for that.
Okay, yeah, true. But their lane phase is even stronger now because they go fleet.
Yeah, but that's only their lane. Like we mid laners don't really care about their lane.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, fair enough.
So fleet's gonna be annoying, but I think the real thing what we're gonna see is that now AD carries are probably opting in for the PD again. So what you might see is well, I haven't really seen a good first item yet.
It's got to be like PD first, is what it seems like.
Gives no AD. So it's Black Chaos first on them.
Well, remember, because you only get 2 of the 3 stats now. So either you don't get crit, you don't get your attack speed, or you don't get your AD, right?
So how about an AD crit item then?
AD crit item.
Like IE. Maybe it's just IE into PD.
Yeah. Agreed.
Most likely.
Wow. Wow, it gives 20 crit now.
So this is crit plus AD.
Wow.
Interesting. Longsword. Only
but I guess it's a nerf to laning, like because it had the physical on hit, which really made your laning super easy for minions and your pushing speed. So I think it's better item if you're like not immediately if you don't have it as your first item. Like
Yeah.
if it's like your third component, that's better. But for early laning, I think it's a nerf.
It's just a different
Different.
way of using it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Mercurial Scimitar, slightly more expensive, no crit, lifesteal. So item in itself is just worse. Massively.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't mind that, actually.
Yeah.
Because
It is a lot more expensive though.
It's just a QSS buff now. It's just
Yeah.
only QSS. That's why you buy this. You will never upgrade
it's like
it.
this is so niche because you're never building this until it's literally your sixth item if you
Yeah.
need QSS. So I don't really think this is gonna do anything, to be honest.
Correct.
Like, we'll never see this item almost like I would say 99.9% of your games you won't see this item. But when you do see it, it is a nice change, I think, overall for like that six item build.
Correct. Agree.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Small buff tomorrow reminder, nothing too crazy. Now for your Flicker Blade, this is a unique item, dude.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at the gold cost.
Wow, and you can build with IE, right?
Yeah, you can. This is a completely new item.
Because
it gives no AD, no haste, only move speed, attack speed.
I wonder, could you build this on Yone and Yasuo then, and just go this into IE? You get the CDR that works on their Q, by the way.
Yes, you can do it. I don't think it's good though.
Yeah.
Because you already got so low CDR, so it's so little.
Yeah, but I mean, because like with Yone, you get your W. You have so many Ws. That's why it's not.
Oh,
horrible.
mainly for the other abilities.
Because because you're like, and you also get a lot more win walls in a team fight. I can definitely. I don't know about Yone, Yasuo, but maybe on Yone, I could like again if it works with IE. I don't know if it does work with IE, but if it does, okay, yeah, then I definitely want to try it because getting those many Ws, like I remember when Navori first got reworked, and you could choose between it and IE. When I tried it on Yone, it was actually not bad because your E has no CD once you come out of your E because you just auto like once or twice. You have 100% crit. So you get your E up again, and your Ws are very short CD as well.
Okay, so just an item to keep in mind.
Yeah, keep that
Watch
in
out
mind.
for.
Yeah, I agree.
It's interesting. This does remove the effectiveness for GP. GP is gone. No AD.
Trist as well. You can't really rush this. Like Trist used to be like a Kraken into Navori. So I'm curious what Trist builds are going to be like now.
Maybe Trist will do IE into Navori instead of
like
IEPD.
Right. Yeah, and then maybe Hail Blades is actually good on Trist then if you're rushing IE.
Right.
I'll have to try that out on Trist actually because I'm also a big Trist player, so we'll have to see for Trist.
Yep.
You know what? Maybe Kraken is good with Trist now too. Better. Because that's the execute.
Yeah, or what we're going to be seeing is maybe a first item non-crit.
Yeah. So, what do they change specifically about Shiv here?
Let's take a look. So, we might see an attack speed AD item first. Our Storm Race is gone. So, there's so many changes. Okay, let's just break them down one by one. This gives crit, no AD, only attack speed. Item shit.
Yeah, I agree.
Shit item. You don't build it on Lucian anymore.
Twisted Fate buff.
You're right.
It's 400 less gold.
It's fine. They nerfed the Shirelias. It's okay.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
But overall, for AD carries, this item is going to be shit. Because the AD carries that build it was like Lucian. Lucian needs AD.
Yeah.
So he can't buy it anymore. So I don't think it's good.
Yeah, I agree.
Runaans. A little bit more cheap. More AD bolt. And no on-hit magic damage. So just
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
It's a better item for your crit ADCs rather than being pigeonholed into like Varus and Cog only who can build this. You can actually build this on a crit ADC and not feel horrible about it anymore.
This looks like a good item on Caitlyn.
Yeah. Caitlyn. Jinx again.
Jinx, for sure. But this is now give AD? It does not. It gives no AD, right?
No AD.
Okay. So attack speed, crit, and the on-hit thing.
Yeah, it's
Probably
definitely
Kate
looking
item.
like ADCs. You rush your IE, and then you get your attack speed and crit afterwards.
Looks like it. We've had that meta a few years ago as well.
Yeah, we did.
That was an interesting one. So what does this do? Costs the same, no crit. It grants attack speed. Killing non-champion fires chain light and deals 90 magic damage.
How much did it do before?
Can you just look it up? $150. Oh, 90
just
against
straight up-
champs, increase to 150 against minions.
So just straight up weaker than the old one from Wave Clear.
Takedowns on champions is still the 3-time, no cooldown, no bounce cap.
Wow.
So this is also, so they're gonna, every 80 carry is just gonna rush this now.
Yeah, because this item actually works against like it's strong against champions now.
Yeah, and it helps with wave clear. Still, if you hit that first creep,
Yeah.
especially on Jinx, you just zap the rest.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Interesting.
And
Trist as well. Maybe even Trist as well.
yeah, and what most likely you're gonna get, but this is the only item that gives attack speed plus AD. Then.
Right.
Because it gives 50 AD and
Wow.
40% attack speed.
Well, Kraken as well, but
Did it now?
yeah, attack speed and AD, right?
Oh, wait. Yeah. Oh, I need to take it back then. Because Kraken looks good too then, actually, as a first item.
Right. Yeah.
Because AD carries love these two stats.
Right.
So we'll have to really see, right? What is the component difference if you go IE first versus this?
Yeah.
And what is the spike difference? Like, how important is this attack speed with the removal of lethal tempo?
Yeah, the main thing is like when you build like I think what we're gonna have to do and other people are gonna have to do is just test it out the feel wise. Like once you complete Kraken, how strong do you feel compared to once you complete IE, compared to once you complete Shiv? Because each item has a drawback in terms of one of the three stats you're missing out on. So we just gotta figure out how good are their passives and how bad do you feel like missing out on crit versus missing out on attack speed versus missing out on AD?
Yeah, spot on. So that's very interesting. I think there's some champs that love the IE start, and I think there's some champs that will love the static, the Kraken start.
Right.
So I think Caitlyn or Draven, they don't care about the attack speed. They'll go IE.
Yeah.
And I think those champs will insanely spike at one item.
Yeah.
Especially with Kate, like if she gets a headshot off or something like that.
Yeah, IE Kate is gonna be a menace.
Okay. Stormrazor gone. Fine.
Yep.
Whatever.
I don't really care for the item. Whatever.
I don't like this item, Terminus.
Yeah, me either. Very weird. It's like a Varus only item, basically.
Yeah.
I only ever see it on Varus.
Yeah, I've seen it on Vayne sometimes too.
A little bit on Auction here and there.
It's just I don't like the fact it gives resistances.
Yeah. I agree.
Overall, changes whatever.
Yeah, just whatever. I agree.
Build
pass.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, so this is cool. So this is really cool. This is an increase of this is an upgrade from Berserker Greaves.
Yeah.
So this is going to be your 6th item, probably, because it's a lot of gold, 2,000 gold.
Yep.
You get 45% attack speed. Wait, what do you gain?
You just get the passive, right? And that's it. How much does Berserkers gives 45, right?
Yeah. I think it's the same.
Oh, no, it gets 10% extra attack speed over Berserkers.
That's not that much. So
and you get the passive as well.
So what does this passive do then? 5 move speed?
I am
think they make a mistake here.
There's a typo there or something.
Yeah,
It's like maybe when you hit. I'm guessing when it's like you hit a champion, you get
probably.
5% for 6 seconds, stacking you up to 15%, something like that.
Probably.
I
So
mean,
it's
either
just
way, it's a very small niche thing. Like when you're 6 items, you just build this.
yeah.
As
Right.
surprised like the mage boots don't have that because it's just like it's still an extra 10% attack speed on a ADC. Why not give upgrade to mage as
I
well?
think they're just testing it out,
Right,
and they
right,
might
fair.
just do it to other champs as well.
Yeah, fair.
Okay, so Hardbound X. This item has already been like kinda whatever. It's not too good
Yeah,
of an item. Really expensive. They make it even more expensive. They lower attack speed to increase the AD. It
I
doesn't
mean
make it a better item at all.
that's
Only
worse,
worse.
even in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Makes the components for your bruisers even worse now. So
Yeah,
just keep
it's
that in mind.
so fucked.
Yeah.
Really bad components. This is a good change. More
Yeah.
balanced.
Yep, I agree.
What we got here?
Oh, so this is for your Shiv and your Kraken, basically.
Okay. So it gives attack speed. So this is a little bit like the 900 gold, the
Yeah.
Fate item.
It's like an alternator as well. You
But
get
then
the
alternator, exactly.
yeah.
So
Okay.
it probably has a 40-second cooldown, and every attack reduces it by 1.
Yeah.
Only deals 40 extra magic. I think it's cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
I agree. Better than the shard in my opinion. So
Yeah, much
like
better.
better balance, better to balance.
Much better. I agree. We talked about the seal changes. Just
Yep.
fair.
Whatever. Small
Whatever.
change. Yeah.
All right, we're getting into the
All
big
right.
stuff here. This is a massive change here.
Yeah.
Let's break this down.
Okay, so Ghost CDR goes up, or sorry, just cooldown in general goes up by 30 seconds, which is a massive deal. Then the duration gets cut by what is that, 33%?
Yep.
So wow,
I
big
think
nerf
it's a
to Ghost.
50% cut. Oh, I'm not sure how it is. No, it's a
Oh
50%.
yeah.
It's an
Oh,
increase of 33% cut. I don't know.
uh,
I'm not a fucking math expert.
yeah, it's a 33% cut, 50% increase, I believe.
Yeah, so this is massive, right? Like, especially
Yeah.
on. We're going to be seeing some big changes here. So I want to show you guys some stuff. So, heal Summoner Spell. Right? We're going to see some changes in cooldowns. Because we see that heal now is 240% cool, 240 seconds cooldown. And Ghost now has 2. So Ghost was a summoner spell that you could actually have a little bit more uptime up. And if you look at 30 seconds, that's a full wave. So in competitive play, this was really important.
Yeah.
And also, if you compare this like with other summoners, having that Ghost up was just insanely valuable for a certain amount of champions. I
I
think this
agree.
change is really good because Ghost was
I
broken.
I hated playing against Ghost, especially in high elo. Like you play against like a Senna, like if it's carry Senna,
Yeah.
they take like Ghost, Swifty Boots, Yomus, you're not hitting them.
No.
Like you just straight up, you're not hitting them. And it just lasted too long. I'm really glad they nerfed it. Like it feels like it's just on forever. Like you play against Twisted Fate top and they pop Ghost and they're kiting you for literally like the entire like the entire lane down. So yeah, I really like this change. This is a good nerf to Ghost. Definitely one of the. It's probably the strongest rune, or sorry, summoner
Yeah.
spell because that's teleport, and
Yep.
flash, right? So glad it gets hit a little bit.
Yeah, so they're just balancing it out better, and I
Yeah,
hope, right? I personally hope that 80 carries will now stop running Ghost.
yeah, yeah. Me too. ADCs with Ghost is very obnoxious to play against.
Exactly. Now we're gonna probably get exhaust back with this
Yeah,
cooldown difference here,
yeah,
which is also annoying on 80 carries, but in a different way.
yeah.
Cool. Cleanse, more cooldown,
Same thing. Yeah,
but also more tenacity. So a little bit more
welcome
noob
change as
friendly,
well.
but good change.
Because like when you play again, like I think it feels kind of bad when you're playing an ADC and then, or like when you're playing Ashe or Varus and the enemy just takes cleanse and all of a sudden like your ability to pick them just goes down
Yeah.
dramatically because they can just cleanse every how many waves is that, like every 6 waves, or sorry, 7 waves they just get to cleanse. So having more windows to punish a ADC is always nice in my opinion.
Yeah, and especially in competitive games, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes it
exactly.
just literally resorted down towards this cleanse ability.
Yeah.
Because there's the one engage tool, and if this guy has cleanse or not, it's the
Yeah.
difference between you being able to engage or not.
Or just being stuck to never. That's why Vi is so strong and competitive, because you pick, you can't cleanse Vi, right?
Exactly.
Whereas, you pick your
Sejar.
Maokai and your Maokai or Sedge. If you needed some other secondary engage, if not, the AC with cleanse blocks it, cleanses
Yep,
it, and you're screwed.
I agree. Still does the job, but now a little bit more balanced. I love
Yeah,
it.
I agree.
Same with exhaust, right? A
Yep.
little bit more cooldown. I really like that. Slow increase is actually quite substantial. It's really substantial. Slow
Yeah,
increase.
I agree.
So what we actually might see is that on certain champions, certain duelers that took Ghost before, or maybe skill shot oriented champions, they like opting into
Yeah.
exhaust right now. Because instead of speeding up themselves, they're going to slow the enemies and it's going to make it easier to hit your skill shots.
Right.
We'll see.
Now, would you say you think these changes buff Unsealed Spellbook, right?
Never.
Because all the individual runes kind of got buffed except for Ghost, of course. Or sorry, the summoner spells got buffed except for Ghost. But they have a longer CDB balance. But Unsealed Spellbook, you kind of bypass that a little bit.
You're right.
I want to take a look at that if they changed
And
Unsealed
this
Spellbook or
also
not.
gives more value to Ionians.
Oh yeah.
And
Ion's even
Cosmic
better.
Insight.
Yeah.
So we're going to get more value to that as well.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow, massive barrier
That's
buff for
insane.
those Lux mid mains or your ADC mains. Really nice.
So this is a 180 seconds cooldown.
Yeah.
So 80
Wow.
carries is just going to take this now.
Yeah, I agree. Your support takes heal or exhaust.
Yep.
The ADC takes barrier and you're chilling. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, so we're getting some hyper carry,
Yeah, the
protected
hyper
carry
carriers are gonna go crazy.
stuff.
Yeah.
This is also incredible rune, like especially in the higher ranks.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable. If you use it at the right time, you can just block out so much damage.
Yeah.
The numbers are crazy. And this is also makes it easier to use. It's
So
fantastic.
long, 2.5 seconds. That's like Ignite's almost full duration. Like you can just barrier and basically block your entire Ignite now.
Do you just run this now versus Zed even too?
Yeah, like even a mid laner, like I'm gonna try. I'm unironically gonna try this on a mid lane,
Yeah.
like some mid lane champions. So I'm against a high threat mid, like a Kiana even. Like you just pop this against Kiana, you have 200 HP shield. What is she gonna do?
Hold up here. So we look at Kiana's R cooldown right initially. So
Yeah,
Kiana's R cooldown is 120 seconds here.
yeah.
We got 180 on this. We take Cosmic Insight, Ionians on
Let's
Ari.
see. Yeah.
We're practically
my
playing
God.
the same game here.
Yeah. Holy shit! Your barrier just blocks their ults. Oh my God.
Your champion gets no ultimate ability this game.
Wow.
Interesting. Okay, very nice change to heal here as well. Oh,
Just easier to use. Yeah.
much easier to use. Just
Yeah.
I love this quality of life stuff. I'm a really big fan of making it easier for lower elo players to play the game, and I think this is fantastic.
I agree. Yeah.
All right,
Predator.
we're on a roll here.
Yeah.
We're moving on to runes here.
Yep.
Predator's gone. Sorry for all the singed mid players out there. I know
Yep.
there was some. No Predator anymore. I think it's great though. This room was fucked up.
Yeah, I agree. The meta when Predator was really good was one of the worst metas I've ever played in my opinion. So just remove it. If you want to make another movement speed oriented rune for domination, take some time to implement it in a way that's not so black and white, which either OP or useless. So
Yep.
I'm glad that's removed.
Agreed. So I'm really happy with this change, Hillblades. This is fantastic.
Wow. Wow.
So
Yeah, that's quite a big nerf to Hellblades.
have you watched some MSI?
I did watch it. Yeah, I did watch MSI.
So if you look at, for example, Varus taking this room, right?
Yeah.
That champ just pops out auto attacks with this 110%.
Yeah.
It's
Ashe
like
as well.
so fast.
Yeah.
It's
Like
insane.
the double ADC bot, like you literally. I remember in MSI, it's like they're playing 4 ADCs bot, all 4 of them at Halo Blades. It's just ridiculous rune.
Yeah.
For early lane. But honestly, I forgot about that. I was thinking about mid, like your Tristanas and your Azirs. I don't know if you're taking this anymore on those guys.
I
Maybe.
tried it on Corki with this new change.
Yeah.
And the real big difference here, right, is instead of you being able to get 3 autos off in a trade, it just becomes 2.
Yeah.
Because they can
Yeah.
space the third one.
Yeah.
While before you were actually able to get 3.
Right.
So it's a pretty big difference for trading patterns in mid 2.
Yeah, I agree. I think really the main thing is like when you're playing in Azir, is this going to change the way you play a lane? Like, because most of the time with Azir, at least when you use Hail Blades, yes, it's good for trading, but also what you can do, it helps you with your wave control because you hit the enemy once with your soldier, you get that extra attack speed, and you use that to help you push. So if that doesn't affect that too much, like if your pushing power still feels pretty good with Hail Blades, I can see it still be good again on a champion like Azir. But we'll just have to try it and see how it feels.
This rune is actually broken by concept.
Yeah, I agree.
It's actually crazy rune.
Yeah.
Crazy rune. But we mids don't use it that often.
Yeah.
Maybe we. How about running this on Yone?
Yeah, I was thinking yeah, I could see it. The only problem is that you really want resolve secondary for second wins, and that's awkward because you don't get the attack speed from your precision.
Alacrity.
Yeah, but yeah,
That's
I will
big, yeah.
definitely try it. It could be solid for sure.
Because you also get maybe we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll have
it
to
could
try
be
it.
okay. It could be okay.
Okay, good removal.
Good change. Yeah,
Just
agreed.
really unique stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. From a rune sense, this should keep the rune in a fairly similar place, but in output level, scaling more linear with time. Okay. Now 7 million for nice deal. Bonus prudent and any
Wow.
champion.
Wait, that
That's
seems like
whack.
insane on a call, you know? You just shroud and then you Q.
I
You just
think
get
it
an extra skin.
removes the entire purpose of this rune. Like for
You think
Akali,
so?
it's probably still good, but for LeBlanc, why would I ever take this
Oh
now?
yeah. Well, because I was thinking like you take this and you go Scorch, right? That's so much extra damage from your runes. Like sure, yeah, you lose the pen, so the
Oh,
scaling is
yeah,
worse. But
maybe
in
it's
lane,
better.
yeah, because think about how strong your lane phase is now. You just get an extra Scorch.
What's the cooldown? 10
10
seconds.
seconds, right? So what's Scorch? It's around the same as Scorch, right? You really just time it with your Scorch. You play your Akali, you Shroud, you Q, you get Scorch inside of Impact, and you just do extra 40 damage on every 10 seconds.
So what are we gonna see then? We're probably gonna see then some Airy LeBlanc
Yeah.
with Scorch,
Scorch, sudden impact,
sudden impact,
and like
Ludens.
zombie ward, Ludens.
That
Yeah.
Ludens thing that just procs on one ability and just keep poking people with Q every 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like twice per wave. That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds like even less interactive than the 80 LeBlanc stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so overall, it's just that it's less burst oriented. So if you deal short
Yeah.
amounts of damage, like
Yeah.
small amounts of damage is better. If you deal more amounts of damage is worse.
Yeah, I agree.
Basically.
So it's better in lane. I think weaker
Yeah.
mid game is my takeaway from that.
Good change, Relentless Hunter.
Yeah, I agree.
This was
Way too
really
good.
good on some champs.
Yeah.
Incredible.
No, so you just not a it's not a rune until you get at least one kill, which
Yep.
is nice.
Really good. Little tempo gone. I think it's good for
Yep.
game balance.
Yeah, I agree. I think we already alluded to it quite a bit up to
Yep.
this point. Good balance lever. We'll have to see how it feels on all these champions. Way easier to balance majority of AD champions now that like to auto a lot. So good change. Good change.
Okay. So what's happening now with press the attack is TLDR is instead of you targeting a champion and that champion taking increased damage, you now, if you proc the press the attack, deal extra damage to all champions.
Wow. Wait, I can see this on Azir.
Probably.
Wow.
But you gotta get 3 hits off though.
Yeah.
That can sometimes be tricky. Like
Well, because like if you get 2 soldiers down, does that count as 2?
probably not. Maybe.
That's another try. I'll have to try that when it comes out tomorrow. But potentially Azir. If not, Trist probably likes this. Akshan potentially.
Yeah.
Um,
Akshan is is just going to be great. It's basically the
Yeah,
same purpose, but it's just
very
slightly better.
similar. Yeah, a little bit more utility. It's like better for if you want to hit other champions as well.
It's better for carries. It's worse for supports like Pantheon that took this.
Right. Yeah. Because the reason why I like it is that it lasts until you leave combat rather than only for 6 seconds. Because what would happen, right, is like let's say you're playing, a Trist and you jump in, you get the hill blades on the guy, or sorry, press the attack on the guy. He kind of walks away and you lose it. But in this scenario, let's say you go in, get press the attack, and it's a long extended fight. You just keep that damage amp the whole fight.
Yeah, and 8%, like that's a lot. That's a
Yeah, that's a
serious
lot.
number that we're talking about here.
Yeah, I agree.
Very good. Especially if
So
we're gonna combine that with, for example, cut down or coup de
yeah,
grace. That's percentage on percentage increase. That's a lot.
yeah,
Okay. Overheal gone. We are now with Absorb live.
yeah.
That's good.
I am actually really excited. I'm worried for this. I'm excited for as a melee player. Worried about it as well, though. I think if you take this D Shield second wind out of your Akali, what do you at Fleet? What are you gonna do against her? She kills a target. She heals like 8 HP, like 10 HP per wave, plus the D Shield second wind healing, plus Fleet. Like, how are you gonna poke her out with this?
I don't think you take it on Akali. I don't think this is worth
You
the
don't think it's as good as their presence of
presence
mind?
of mind.
Interesting. Or like Yone then, because Triumph was already just mediocre on him.
Yeah, it's good on Yone. It's incredible.
Yeah. Wow, so I'm excited for that for him actually, and Yasuo as well.
I'm really curious what the exact scaling is. We're seeing
Yeah,
2 to 17 here, right? If it goes up
yeah,
1 by level, at level 4 you're just regenerating 4 health per creep. That's
yeah.
that's a
That's
good
that's a
goal.
lot. Yeah.
How about? Oh no, it's not per hit. It's per creep. Okay, I think it's fairly
Um,
balanced.
and what I will say, some really weird niche thing is that this rune is randomly really good against champions that summon stuff. So if you play against a Yorick top and you take this, um, if you kill his dudes, you're gonna get some health back
Malzar,
for trades. Malzahar as well.
fantastic.
Yeah.
You're
So
right.
because I'm just thinking because Cho'Gath, right? Cho'Gath is 18 at level 1, and Cho'Gath is like almost impossible to poke out of lane in my opinion
Right.
as a mage. So this is like what 10%, like not even 10% is good. So we'll have to
Yeah.
see like how this will feel. Maybe it'll just will make no difference. Maybe you'll look and I'll heal like 200 life in a laning phase, which would be insane. We'll have to see.
We have to really look at the stats.
Yeah, I agree.
Hold on. Tenacity's gone. Fair.
I like it. I like that change.
Because what you saw a lot, right, was Bruisers building this, of getting this rune, plus Tabis, and basically getting best of both worlds.
Yeah, exactly.
So I
I'm
think it's good.
I'm glad you get to actually invest in some tenacity. You can't just get it for free from a rune.
Yep, you need Sterix now, or the Mercs.
Yeah.
Next up we got Haste, Legend Haste, instead of this.
Yeah. You know what I'm thinking? Like precision is actually really nice for like those some mages now. Like I can imagine a fleet Vigar with Legend Haste, with cut with coup de grace, and then the mana or the life gain on minion kill. You just survive lane with Vigar with this.
And you can also really opt into Presence of Mind now, as well,
Yeah,
if you
or you
need
can.
it.
Oh yeah, yeah, or that. Yeah, exactly. I'm just
Either
thinking
health
like
or mana.
precision seems so good on mages now. Like it's actually a viable choice for mages.
I think Precision overall is like such a nice balanced rune
Yeah,
tree.
I agree.
Like, it's so balanced because it gives you so much flexibility in choices.
Yeah,
It has something for every champion kit.
yeah, I agree.
It's a little bit like inspiration, but then less gold reliant, but more stats reliant.
Yeah, it's more just pure stats rather than like weird niche things you can do. I think would be the difference. But
Yep.
yeah, very nice.
Okay, so cut down changes. So instead of I'm actually a little bit. I think it's unfortunate because I think the old cut down was really niche, but incredibly effective if you took it in the right spots.
Right.
So if you took it against a double tank comp, maybe even triple tank comp with a tanky support, tanky topside and jungle, this was a fantastic rune, especially if you combine this with the likes of how do you call that? The Liandry's and the Riftmaker. Because what you then got, you got percentage damage increase plus percentage damage increase plus percentage damage increase. Like it's wild how much percentage damage increase you get. On some champs, that's really insane. So I think the old one was really cool. This one
just like plain. I think because if you read the top part, I guess the design spaces is they don't want players to feel bad for not taking this if they didn't realize they're going to play against 2 giga tanks, for example.
Yeah.
So, I think that was kind of the change they're targeting. Also, I will say I think cut down was just overstated before. Like
this is insane.
Like even when there's no tanks, you just take cut down on the ADC because you have so much less health than everyone else in the game, and it was just better than coup de grace by a lot.
Yeah.
So look, I think it's a step in the right direction. I agree. It is unfortunate. It does feel bad to kind of lose out on some of that damage.
Balance though.
But I think in the long run, if they balance it a little bit, I think it could be a little bit more healthy overall. Like that way, you have some options because 99% of the time right now, you just either take Last Stand if you're a Yone or a Yasuo, and if you're ADC, take Cut Down. That's it, right? And now you have a little bit more choices in terms of what you want.
Correct. So yeah, what do you think about the actual thing, right? Deal 8% increased damage to champs above 60% max health.
It's basically the reverse of coup de grace, right? Because coup de grace is what? Is it 6% when they're below 40 or something?
%8 to champs below 40.
So it's literally the same thing, but the reverse now. Yeah. I think it's slightly better, right? I think because when I'm thinking about how lane plays out, like let's say you're playing again in Azir because Azir takes precision almost every game, right? You're playing an Azir and you take this rune. You much rather poke them when they're healthy to get them low to threaten them, right? Yep. When they're lower health, rather than take coup de grace and then you have to work more to get them lower. So I think this one's slightly better than it's very similar, but I think this one's slightly better in my opinion.
So how does this tie into like D-Shield second wind use? So if you're going to be playing a champion like Talia or Azir, does this rune give you more value or does coup de grace give you more value?
That's good. That's a good point.
Because 40% is low, man.
Yeah.
I think this rune is going to give you much more value.
Yeah, I agree. Interesting. I think this is nice on champions that aren't meant to execute. Like for example, if you're playing a poke champion, and you like hitting people who are high health because they're a lot more willing to get hit, then this could be good. Whereas like an assassin like an Akali, I still think you'd probably rather have the other one potentially.
And this might actually also be. I think this is insane for Akali.
Right, because the trades are better and you get them to the lower HP faster for your execute.
Exactly, because this helps executing champions incredibly hard.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
A very interesting rune. I love this. I think this is insane.
Yeah,
really
I agree.
Good. Really good. Fleet. Let's take a look here. So the heal goes down.
Yeah, heal goes down. You get more movement speed.
Sure.
How about so you get 25% more movement speed effectively because it lasts 25% longer.
Yeah.
At the cost of 20%. I don't think this is bad. I think this is a buff, in my opinion, because a lot of the healing is from from hitting a champ with your AP ratio as well, or AD ratio. Because it has decent scaling. It has like 0.25 AD, 0.10 AP. So the nerf to the healing isn't as much as it looks. But you get that much extra spacing from Fleet. I actually think this is better, in my opinion.
This is incredible, actually. It's good that you point that out. Because what we have to understand is that 1 second versus 1.25 seconds. If we compare this with auto attack timers.
Yeah.
Right? Especially in the early game. What you can probably do with this extra time is get that extra auto attack and then spacing the enemy champion better.
Yeah.
So instead of using your fleet to heal, then you can use it to use the move speed to get an extra auto attack in.
Yeah.
Cool. Very good change. What do we got here? Font of Life. I need to check the stats of this. Slower mobilizing an enemy champion heals you and a nearby ally. for 10 to 50 health, 70% effectiveness for ranged users.
So it's better early game, weaker late, is what it looks like. Because it's not percentage of your health anymore; it's a flat amount.
Yep, it's just easier to use as well. But it has a cooldown now.
Wait a minute. But so this works if you're by yourself.
Yeah.
So you could like take it in mid if you want. Like you play champ does a slow, and you just take this. Like, isn't this crazy? Like you just play. I'm thinking like you just play a champ, a mid lane champion that takes fleet, right? Like a Triss. You take this, or start like a Zir, for example. Okay, you take
slow.
fleet. You slow them with your Q. You auto. You get your full fleet healing, and you get this healing. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, that's so much sustain for an Azir, and then you get demolished because you resolve, which is exactly what you want for Azir. Unless it's in the same
once per lane.
spot.
It has a little bit less effectiveness and a pretty long cooldown.
Oh, it's on the same thing as demolish.
It's the same thing as demolish, so it's like a choice.
Oh, okay.
So if you're in a bad lane, you can take this, and if you're in a good lane, you can take demolish. I think it's a good option.
Yeah, I agree.
Good option.
Wait, this is a call. Wait, isn't this insane on Akali? You slow them with your Q.
Yeah, it actually is.
You like it doesn't like if you really wanted to as a call, you could just stake every healing thing in the game. Second wind
from the
this D shield,
absorb life.
Absorb life if you really want. Like I don't. How are you gonna get Akali out of lane now? It's like actually impossible.
It is actually impossible.
Wow. Like I actually unironically might have to rush like Oblivion Orb on a mage or something. I guess Akali. That's crazy.
That's really funny, actually.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah, you're right. This is kind of good on Akali with her Q.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Wow.
You can use it once per wave, sometimes twice per wave. There's a lot of health on these champs.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you think about it, so it's basically, yeah, you're getting
it's every W.
Yeah, every W into Q, you just get.
Wow.
You just get it.
That's insane. That's actually good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
So you can do this on Akali, or you can take the Scorch side of impact if you want.
Yeah, there's more options.
Wow.
And this is incredible on Ashe, right? Like the cooldown.
Oh yeah.
In bot lane,
that's
like
true.
Ashe sub just goes through the roof with this.
Wow. Yeah, true.
Okay. All right. Inspiration. Some changes here.
Yep.
So row 1, we got Hextech, we got Magical Footwear, we got Cashback. Cashback is a new rune. We're going to be covering this one. Row 2, Triple Tonic, Time Warp Tonic, Biscuit Delivery. Cool. Row 3, Cosmic Insight, Approach Velocity, Jack of all trades. Let's take a look at it. Future Market gone, thankfully.
Yep, I never liked that rune anyway, so I'm happy with that.
Me neither. Now we get Cashback, and this is a good item.
Wow.
A good rune.
6% gold back. Interesting. Legendary. So legendary means like when you complete your item, right?
Correct. So take a 3k gold item.
But this only works if you don't have the components, right?
What do you mean?
Is it the total gold of the item, or is it how much you spent to complete the item? Because does it like let's say you have like all the components to Triforce, and your Triforce only costs 400 gold left, and you buy it. Does it give you 6% of the 400, or does it give you 6% of the 3,300 gold?
Well, it has to be this.
Right. Because 180 gold is a lot.
Yeah.
Like over.
So you got to compare this with the Boots rune, because the Boots rune gives you 300 gold for free plus stats.
Right. Yeah, so actually, right.
You'll basically break even after 2 items with the Boots rune. But the Boots rune, you get it sooner. Right, so you get 180 back for the next item, and then you get like 200 back for the next one, and then after 2 items, you've basically gotten a lot of gold.
Yeah.
So it's just a gold generation item.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's a really good rune. Love this.
Okay.
Especially for skaters. Syndra loves this. Tiamat's gone. I love this.
Yeah.
I think it was a very cool rune.
Yeah, it was. Too strong at high elo, in my opinion.
Exactly. It's just a little bit imbalanced for the elo brackets.
Yeah, I agree.
Now we get Jack of all trades.
For
Okay.
each unique stat on items you have purchased, you get. Oh, I see. Wow, that's cool. So that means like, so if you get attack speed on your item, you get 1 stack. If you get AD, that's 2 stacks. Crit 3, lifesteal 4, movement speed 5. So the question is how many stacks do you need for this to be good? Would you say?
I think 5.
Just 5, right? Like as
Get
long
10
as you at least reach
force.
5. Yeah, it's already 300 gold of stats.
Yeah.
350 gold, and you would also get 5 ability haste.
So I think
So what champion can it get up to 5?
D-Blade.
Uh,
D-Blade gives 3 stats. Health, AD,
oh my
lifesteal.
god. Well, you're right.
So you get health, AD, lifesteal. And
Wow, wait,
then
this is actually so good because like, even if you just build a Zonias, that gives you armor, that gives you a stack. Banshees, that gives you a stack. If you go Nashers, that gives you a stack for the attack speed.
Triforce.
Yeah, Triforce is crazy with this.
1, 2, 3,
4.
4. So it
Almost
already
gives you
has.
the entire thing.
Yeah, so if you basically build Triforce plus boots, you have this.
Yeah. Wow. Wait, this rune is really good. And just so much extra stats.
I think realistically, right? Realistically, we won't get to this ever.
You need to be playing a champion where you're like specific, like maybe Twisted Fate.
Twisted Fate, you get AP, haste,
If you go RFC, that's
attack
attack speed.
speeds. We
Crit.
get move speed. We'll not get it. We'll never get 10.
Crit as well. You get crit chance because of RC. You get percent movement speed. That's a unique stack converted movement speed as well.
Really?
I think so. I believe they're separate.
Okay. Maybe health,
Yep. Mana if
mana,
you go Roa. How much?
maybe
I don't know how
TF.
much that.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, it's so hard to get 10. I think 10 is so impractical.
You need to be playing like a Jax, get Triforce, get armor and MR, buy Zonians for AP, something like that. Like you need to play a champ that like actually wants defensive stats and offensive stats together.
Yeah. Maybe Mercs is good on this as well because you get tenacity.
Yeah.
That's unique.
Oh yeah, Magic Pen would be one as well if you buy Magic Pen boots.
Correct.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I think 5 is practical, 10 is unique.
Yeah.
So
I
this
agree.
is what you're going to be getting the room for.
You basically get 5 haste and 10 AP for a rune.
Yeah.
After your first item. That's pretty good.
That's good.
That's like 400 gold in value.
Yeah. It's
Not
very
bad.
nice.
Yeah.
Cool rune. Very unique.
Yeah, agreed.
So what do you think of this, Time Warp Tonic? So what happens is with Time Warp Tonic is you get basically 40% more healing in total of your puts. And it also is more instant upfront healing.
It's definitely really good. I'll say that for sure. But I will say they added a lot of sustain into other trees as well. So we have to compare directly to that, right?
Yeah.
Like this is really good. Like if you use refillable, right? Refillable is 250 total, I think, right? So you're getting 40% at 250. So you're getting about 100. You're getting about 100 HP, I think, around there. Back.
Yeah, it's total.
Sure.
It's 100 per cost.
Oh, okay. So 200, and then you get 40% of that. So that's extra 80. So you're basically getting 80 HP back.
An extra pop.
Once you refill. Yeah.
That's kind of big for lane, though.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
I'm comparing that compared to the other runes. Like Fauna Life is probably give you that much as well, though.
This one's easier to use.
I think what makes this strong is that you could just start Dark Seal and refillable.
Right.
On like something that doesn't need mana that much, like a cat, that helps your lane a lot. And then you just base, come back, tempo back. You get so much healing. So I think it's nice for champs that like can start refill cast it in.
Maybe Sett likes to take inspiration tree with these first strike stuff, these melee refill longsword dark seal starters.
Talon.
But also I think just mages though. Like if we just get into a mage v mage matchup, this is fantastic because it's 40 health, and on the normal pots it's even more. It's like 50 health.
Yeah, true, because it still does work on the normal pots. Yeah, that's true.
A little bit of a lane kingdom rune.
So, but my question is like, yeah, actually no, because then basically every mage is taking sorcery plus inspiration for that. Because you just get
Yeah.
so much, you get the Scorch, and then you get this as well.
It's gonna be this versus Cosmic Insight. What do
Well,
you
and
want?
isn't Jack of all trades in there too? No, or which side is that one under now? Yeah, it is. It's Cosmic versus.
Oh, it's versus Biscuits and Triple Tonic.
Wow.
Oh, this is cool. I'm taking Time Warp Tonic every game, by the way. Unless I need the mana.
Wow. And First Strike is getting buffed on champions like a Procket a lot as well for the
Yeah.
gold.
So this is probably good. It's fantastic on Kassadin. This is the rune for these champs.
Yeah.
So you basically trade, for Zed, you basically trade this versus Triple Tonic, which you do want.
Yeah.
And you can take each in specific situations. If you want to level 6 all in, or if you just want to skill up.
Yeah.
Triple Tonic is also good as fuck.
Really good. Like getting an extra skill point at level 9,
Insane.
like a champion like Ori. Like that's such a hard choice between all three of those and Ori, because Ori the mana is nice on her with biscuits.
Yeah.
Time work the sustain on the refills, but then triple Tana you get the level 6 and the extra skill point in your W/Q once you hit level 9.
Really depends what are we playing for, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
Very cool.
Really cool. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, final one is the first strike
Yeah.
change. More standard gold.
Wow, that's a lot of extra gold. What's 15? This is really good on champs like a Procket a lot.
Yeah, in the lane.
Yeah, in the lane for laning phase.
Correct. So the damage amp is also up. I think it's just a lane buff and a late game
lane
nerf.
buff. It's meant for like it's so that way your Zeds don't get 100 gold off of first strike.
Right.
So I'd like this. This is a really healthy change. I'm actually a massive fan of this change.
I agree.
I really hated playing like very unhealthy playing against something like Zed, and they just have their item at 8 minutes because they proc first strike, get 60 gold off of their first strike with futures market, and they have Eclipse at minute 8. So I'm very happy about that change.
The damage amp, like I think it's fine because the damage of this rune kind of was whatever after they nerfed it.
Yeah.
So this
especially
is
on range champions, right? It's even worse than range champions. So
the damage is the same on range. The gold generation is less.
Right.
As far as I know.
Right. Fair.
But maybe they changed that as well. I'm not entirely sure. All right, that's actually
nice.
it.
Yeah. Oh, I actually covered it all.
Anything else you want to revisit or talk about?
I think we nailed most of it. I mean, maybe we can just give a brief summary on our thoughts, our initial thoughts in terms of what's going to happen. I think for me, what I noticed is like there's going to be a trend where I think bot is going to be super strong at this patch, given the changes, the system changes. So I think everyone be on the lookout for that. And I think that inherently makes those Enchanter supportive mid laners stronger, right? I think your like Galio's and Twisted Fates. Like I know I get TF got nerfed on that build, but those champs love playing towards bot.
Yeah.
So there's that, right? So I think there's gonna be definitely a decent, not meta shakeup, but degree in which how much you're gonna play towards your bot, right? I think there's that.
I think there's gonna be more scaling.
Yeah, more scaling as well because you have more time to survive your lanes with these new runes.
Yep.
And
what we really see as well is with these AD carries, right? They really unlock at spikes. Like the spikes are massive. So everything before that's kind of whatever.
Yeah. I agree.
So the spikes
it's really important to get to your item spikes. Yeah.
And that's for AD carry. I think for mid though, we're gonna see a little bit faster lanes.
You think so?
Yeah, because we got this Fate item, Fated Ashes.
Right.
We got the rune changes.
But some of the rune changes give you more sustain, which would make your lane slower, would it not?
I think it only makes it faster. Because what you can utilize these sustain buffs to take more trades.
Push the limits of it more.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Because that's also what
Interesting.
you saw with Seapod, right? Seapod was more regeneration, but you used that to push the limits and get faster lanes going.
Yeah.
So I think that's really what we're going to be seeing.
Right.
And the summer spell changes are massive too.
Oh yeah, those are massive. Oh, also it's Unsealed Spellbook, the value, because inspiration is so good now. All three of the tabs on inspiration are really good. So I think Unsealed Spellbook Vigar, I think looks really nice now.
I can see where it comes from. Definitely
Yeah.
gets a little bit of a better. It just becomes a little bit better rune.
Yeah, exactly. And Barrier as well. Don't forget about Barrier. I think Barrier for mid laners. That's gonna be
Insane.
interesting to see how that goes.
Exactly. Very exciting stuff. This is
Yeah,
going to
very
be
exciting.
an amazing patch.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, AJ. I really want to thank you for doing this a massive mid-season rundown with me. Thanks for taking the
Yeah,
time.
thanks for having me on here. I enjoyed it.
My pleasure. Where can we find you? Do you have a Twitch link that you want to drop? Do you have
Yeah.
YouTube that you want to drop?
Yeah, you can probably post it in the description of the video, but you
Yeah,
guys can find me at twitch.tv/Ajax, which is just AHJAX. Um, you can find me,
I'll post it
of course.
in the
Yep,
links.
you can just post it. You guys can DM me on Discord as well if you want to reach out to me. That's also just AHJ with a underscore. Again, he can just post it at the end of the comment section.
Yep.
But yeah, also find me around the MLA. So check out the MLA if you guys enjoyed the type of analysis we did. We do a lot of reviews in the MLA and just improvement focused stuff. So yeah, if you're interested, make sure you check that out.
Spot on. Thank you all for watching. As always, if you guys have any comments, feel free to put them down below, and I'll definitely get back to you. See you later, guys.